Regional Plant Protection Organizations, or RPPOs, have been historically very important and have had a key role in shaping global plant health. This video focuses on these organizations and highlights their historical role with the International Plant Protection Convention, IPPC. First, we wanted to make sure that you are familiar with the names, acronyms, and year when each of the current 10 RPPOs came into existence. 1951, EPO. 1953, OIRSA. 1956, IAPS. 1956, APPC. 1969, CAN. 1976, NAPO. 1989, COSAVE. 1994, PPO. 2012, NEPO. 2017, CAFSA. Now we're going back in history to set the first agreement between countries to work together against an important pest of grapevines, the grape phylloxera. The agreement was signed in 1881, 16 years or so after the pest was introduced from North America into Europe and was negatively affecting grapevine health and wine production. Years later, we had the first effort of drafting what would eventually become the IPPC Treaty. This document was called the International Convention for the Protection of Plants and Plant Products and was signed in Rome in 1929. The drafting of the original IPPC, a multilateral treaty for the global protection of all plant resources, was completed in 1951, and the document was opened for signature the same year. The IPPC Treaty entered into force in 1952. Its first revision occurred in 1979. The inclusion of manufactured products like wood packing materials made from plants and capable of harboring and spreading pests via international trade. The idea that containers and other inanimate objects and materials are also capable of harboring or spreading plant pests. For example, sea containers, shipping vessels, used machinery, and vehicles. The 1997 revision also added a term that is now so familiar to us, quarantine pest, and encouraged the IPPC community to use the term pest to mean pests and diseases. Pest is defined in our glossary of terms as any species, strain, or biotype of plant, animal, or pathogenic agent injurious to plants or plant products. The year 1962 was really important in the history of the RPPOs and their role in shaping plant health. This was the year when the existing RPPOs met for the first time ever. The meeting was convened by the Food and Agriculture Organization. Some important conclusions reached at this meeting were: lack of close cooperation was an obstacle to the progress of global plant protection. That even though different regions had different specific problems, they all had common concerns in the area of plant health. They suggested a regular regional exchange of plant health information. During the 1980s and the first half of the 1990s, our phytosanitary community left its infancy and went into the teenage years. In 1986, the IPPC was recognized as a standard-setting and implementation body for phytosanitary measures by the World Trade Organization Agreement on the Application of Sanitary and Phytosanitary Measures, or SPS agreement. Most countries established their National Plant Protection Organizations, or NPPOs. Many other RPPOs and FAO commissions were established during this period. The concepts of preserving/protecting plant health facing an increasing international trade developed and highlighted the necessity for phytosanitary certification. In this same period of time, the first technical consultation among RPPOs took place, with 4 RPPOs in attendance. However, it was the RPPOs during their first meeting in 1986 that recommended the establishment of the IPPC Secretariat to manage and implement the provisions and responsibilities stated in the IPPC Treaty and promote multilateral cooperation in the protection of global plant resources. After much negotiations, the IPPC Secretariat was finally established in 1992. The RPPOs also recommended that they meet once per year as a way to ensure transparent communication and cooperation. The idea of having expert panels and working groups. Article 9 of the new revised text of the IPPC confirms the relationship of the RPPOs with the IPPC and mentions a few of their duties. 1. That contracting parties agree to establish RPPOs. 2. That RPPOs shall function as coordinating bodies, participate in the activities to achieve the objectives of the IPPC. 3. That the RPPOs shall cooperate with the IPPC Secretary in achieving the objectives of the Convention. It indicates that with respect to standard setting, RPPOs can and should identify topics and provide comments during consultation of draft standards. Identify regional standards that might serve as basis for future ISPMs. Collaborate in hosting Standard Committee (SC) meetings. Provide technical and administrative support to SC members from the regions. Participate as observers to SC meetings. With respect to collaboration with the IPPC Secretariat, RPPOs can and should participate in standard setting, help organize IPPC regional workshops in the regions, implement the IPPC, its ISPMs, and recommendations, cooperate in the delivery of capacity development activities, contribute to implementation of eFIDO. As such, historically, RPPOs were true plant health pioneers that led the way to establish strategic initiatives in global communication, coordination, and collaboration to implement the provisions of the IPPC and to contribute to standard setting and implementation for the benefit of the plant health community worldwide. Please remember that RPPOs were true plant health pioneers and they remain important today. As we implement the development agenda items of the IPPC Strategic Framework 2020-2030, the 10 RPPOs continue to be an indispensable part of the plant health community team, because together, everyone achieves more.